I'm Dr. Natalie Gonzalez. I'm sure you've had the experience where you were around a child who had a few sniffles and you got their cold. And even though it was the same virus that caused them a few sniffles, you thought you were going to die with it. I remember when my daughter was young, I went to the daycare center and I had the chance to observe the children having a meal or a snack. And they were all seated at a low table with the little chairs, and they had their forks and spoons that they were trying to learn to use, but they were mostly using their fingers. And they would swipe that food across their face with their runny nose, and some of it would go into their mouth, and then they would share that with their neighbor or their neighbor on the other side, and then their neighbor would share theirs with them. And there was a lot of sharing going on. They really were good at that. And I could not imagine how these kids would survive daycare. It's a matter of immune function. When our bodies are young, the immune system functions in a far more robust way than an older immune system that is struggling. And it's just one of those environments where they bring a lot of bacterial and viral infections into the program, and they share them with each other, and those viruses and bacteria just mutate into new, more vicious forms, and they bring those home to us, and the sniffle that they have becomes a major bronchitis or pneumonia for the adult in their environment. I just think it's amazing that we can survive that environment when we're young. You know, a new batch of children will enter those same daycare programs now. And the old batch of children that graduated from daycare, from high school, will now enter a new environment in college. And they'll do the same thing. They'll share different viruses and organisms among them and mutate a few more vicious strains of their own. And did you know that as complicated as your immune system might be, that there are very simple ways that you can help that immune system function at its best? That's what this series is about. So as we go into the time of year when our children return to school, this can be a particularly challenging time, not only for our children, but for us to be able to fight off the infections that our children expose us to. So if you are a teacher, a parent, an extended family member like a grandparent or an aunt, an uncle, a teacher's aide, or another school official, all of us are exposed to the bacteria and infection that children interchange with each other and then bring into our environment. And these can be particularly difficult for adults whose immune system is already a little bit compromised. So that might be somebody with allergies or asthma. It is amazing what our bodies can do to survive this. In this 5-part series about returning to school, we'll talk about some very simple and fundamental ways that you can help your children manage their immune system in those situations, as well as help you maintain your own healthy immune system to be able to survive what they bring back into your environment. So we'll be talking about food and supplements and different lifestyle strategies as far as sleep and movement and exercise and stress and relaxation and relationships. We'll talk about all of those things just like we do every time in functional and integrative medicine, because we want to give you some of the most fundamental and valuable tips to get you and all of our children through this time period in a stronger and healthier way. even though the vast majority of children in these schools and daycare environments survive without a problem, they go on to become adults like us whose immune system may have been stressed over and over throughout our lifetime, and now it's showing signs of that stress, like in the form of autoimmune disorder, allergies, food sensitivities, inflammation, and any number of chronic disorders that are related to the immune system. So if we can boost their immune system and help you boost your own immune system during this very special time of returning to school, then we will have done our job in helping you not only understand this process, but survive and come out ahead. So we'll see you in the next videos as we go through some of the practical tips for helping you to get through this back to school circus. And we'll provide you with some PDFs that will give you ways to remember the tips that we're going to be talking about. Okay.